Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. Currently about 19 minutes until market open, so let's get into some analysis here. Normally I do this before stream, but I thought, I'd do it in the stream in case anyone wants to watch it back. Let me get rid of some of these levels from yesterday. Okay, so I'd say this is still a good draw, to be honest. So we've just seen a big sell-off at market open, so we'll have to see. Yeah, I mean, this is a nice bullish reaction here of this daily FEG, so obviously we have a 4 hour as well, like stacked, so there is a daily FEG lower though, however, which is in discount, so perhaps we go there. We'll see. H4, you see, it's going to be a little bit difficult today because I don't really have much of a bias. There's daily gaps above and below, so it's going to be difficult for me to frame a decision, but we can still like look for one, I guess. React rather than trying to predict. This H1 gap is really holding up. It did get closed above though, however. We have a H4 FEG here, which is filled. Get rid of some of this. It's useless at the minute. So we have sell side here, pretty significant sell side, to be honest. Sell side liquidity. H4 IFEG right here. Daily gap below. How much of this didn't get filled? Just this portion. Okay. There's more sell side here. Quite a big momentum candle downwards. By the looks of it, though, we have relative equal highs here to an SMT. Yes, there is an SMT. There's an SMT at the highs. Okay. Okay, so I mean, this range was mitigated. Sorry. This range is blasted past EQ, so that's invalid. The only really valid range here is this one on the daily, to be honest. So I guess this would be a good target. It is quite low though. From here, it's like 400 points. Yeah, 370. So yeah, I think maybe this is a good target. We'll see how this candle closes come 10 a.m. But yeah, perhaps we get some sort of retracement, I guess. But we'll go on a lower time frame and analyze a little bit deeper. H1, pretty much more of the same with the H4, to be honest. There's a portion of unfilled FEG here, but again, this is a big momentum candle. So and we have SMT at the highs too. Big SMT. I think this daily FEG here in discount of this range makes for a good draw. If we are going to look to take a short setup here, I'd need some sort of retracement though. I don't really want to be shorting at the bottom of this candle. Okay, M15. I mean, to be fair, it's still more of the same, really. There's an H4 IFEG, but this H4 IFEG fueled the move to tap into this H1. And we've just sort of been consolidating around this area. There is also a order block here. As you can see, this is an order block right here. So I guess this is what the price is reacting off of. I don't usually use order blocks, so yeah, I guess. But I guess we can mark it out for like a one-off since the price is clearly reacting off of it. So this was my draw. This high here. This was my draw yesterday, and an unfilled portion of the H4 gap. And then potentially move higher. This is a big unfilled daily inefficiency here. But obviously we're moving down. So unless we get a big wick, I think we do target lower, to be honest. And 15. So we've already swept previous session lows here. Did we sweep any session highs? So we did sweep London high as well, which is actually the move, the cause of this move here, down lower. So it's a shame that this happened pre-market. Maybe there was a setup here. Let me have a look. I'll go on the M1 quickly. This is where we swept London high. There's not really much of a setup, to be honest. You wouldn't have really caught any shorts here. About the 30-second. Maybe on the 30-second, although it's not really that clean. Not really that clean at all, to be honest. It closed right on this gap, and then obviously this next candle was invalid because it's already swept the intermediate term low. And you would have got stopped at a break even here anyway. So again, another reason why I don't trade pre-market. But this was all right. Sorry about the coughing. I'm still on the ropes. This was decent. If you were obviously trading pre-market, but this isn't bad. I mean, we did tap into a gap here. Getting notifications from NVIDIA for some reason. Yeah, this was kind of clean actually. This was 852. So we have sort of a 3 drives pattern here, 3 consecutive higher highs towards a liquidity zone. Indicates that price failed. Excuse me. Price has failed to sweep this zone. So yeah, this would have been a decent short on the 30-second here. And then obviously, if you had a draw on liquidity lower, you could have partialed at this low and then left a runner all the way down to the draw on liquidity if you were going to target this sell side here, for example. Or I mean, that's like where this model shines. You know, I mean, you basically blend scalping and day trading to like the best of both worlds. Like you can get precision entries with scalping, and then you basically hold for the day trade draws, where someone will be holding for like an hour or so. But this way, you just get so much better risk to reward, tighter stop loss, better entry. It just makes for an extremely profitable way of trading. This H4 FVG is already filled to the left, so I don't really right here. So I do expect this sell side to get tapped here. I don't really think that this is going to hold price up considering it's already filled. So maybe this is where we get a retracement. Let me draw a range here. I've got something stuck. I need to clear my throat properly. Doesn't help that I inhaled my wife's hair earlier. That might be it. She came and gave me a hug and inhaled her hair. So do a cheeky bit of what's it called? Keratin. That's it. Okay, so for a retracement, this looks good actually. I will say so. We have an M15 here. This closes in about 8 minutes, so it closes the market open. If we close and leave an M15 FVG here, we could potentially target the upper range. for an area to potentially then retrace off of down to this sell side liquidity, and potentially leave a runner down to this unfilled daily inefficiency. I don't know how much more of a move price is going to make today, because this is already quite a big sell-off. 220 points, 230 points. But obviously, if it presents itself, then we'll capitalize on that. Excuse me again. M5 looks decent. There's a big gap here though. So it's, yeah, when you got a big gap here, you can't really be looking for a long. You know, price would just most likely react off of this and go lower. So that's also kind of how I can frame like a bias, is if I wouldn't go long because of something, is a reason to look for a lower price, if you get me. Like, I wouldn't really take a long here unless we came down, swept this sell side, and then gave a really clean 30-second entry, like just here, where like the chances of getting stopped at break even are, you know, super clean, rather than it hitting this and then getting stopped out properly. It's kind of the only scenario where I'd take a trade like this to potentially go higher. This is just accumulation at the minute. It looks like we're gonna accumulate here now until market opens. So for the next 5 minutes, potentially another sweep from sell side, or maybe a run into this area here, where we could potentially look for a short. We don't really have any higher time frame A+ setups. Sometimes we can get a lower time frame A+ off a higher time frame A+. That's where you can look for fractal price. So yeah, basically all time frames are the same. If you get an A+ inversion on the M5, rather than taking that A+ on the M5, you can then zoom in to like the 30-second or the 1 minute, and then you can look for an A+ on that time frame, and that's called a confirmation entry. It's one of my 2 types of A+. I have one where it's like a standalone liquidity sweep, and then we get a clean inversion, the good draw on liquidity, and then my type 2 is a fractal higher time frame entry, basically a confirmation. Right, while we wait for a market open, I'm just going to quickly nip the loop. Right, apologies for that. I'm back. So there is SMT at the lows. I've just noticed. I would still like to see it get swept though, to be honest. Do we have any viewers in here? If you're in here, drop a message and I'll be happy to answer any questions or anything just while we wait for market open here in 4 minutes. We're just currently anticipating a reaction off of this zone here. It's a big M5 FVG in premium. I want to see this sell side liquidity swept before potentially targeting higher, or we get a reaction from here and then we could target lower. But yeah, we do have S&T here, so ES has already taken this low. But the thing is, this is a filled H4 FVG. It's already filled, so I do anticipate this low getting swept by NQ, but we'll see. We'll see. Just flicking through time frames here. Okay. I guess we could just stick to the M1 for now, just while we wait for market open here in 2 minutes. Apologies for the coughing. I'm still not 100%. I'll try and hold it in. I'll end up exploding on live stream. I need to like hotkey a button for my mic. I could just quickly mute if I'm going to cough. I need to do that. I didn't want to take any more time off live streaming. I had a full week off, and obviously Monday as well. And I caught such a clean trade on Monday, and I was like, it's such a shame that wasn't on live stream. Because when I don't live stream, I don't record either. So it would have been nice to have like that on clip, I guess. But I've like getting what's it called, like spit roasted by viruses in a minute. I've got one in one end and one in the other. Like I don't know, my son, he had some sort of flu or something. It was not nice, and then I ended up catching it. And then that went over like the weekend, and now I've ended up catching a cough. Like, beat me while I'm down, why don't you, you know? These ruthless microbes hijacking my nerves cells. Moving pretty slow here, coming up to market open. I'm hoping that we do see some sort of quick reaction off of this area. Looks like we will get an M50 in FVG form here. Okay, so there's market open, there's the M50 and FVG. If we get a reaction off this M50 and FVG, it's not clean and I won't take it because it's not hit EQ. It's not part of my model. It has to hit EQ. It's one of my intro criteria. I need this zone reacted off of. Like for example, this IVG here, if this closed below, I won't take it. It's it looks okay, but it's not A+. So we just wait, because the amount of times where I've taken a subpar setup like this and then got stopped out, or got like narrowly stopped at break even or something, and then had to stop trading for the day. Carried on watching the charts and seeing the cleanest A+ form afterwards. It's I know it does form, so there's no point in trying to take something subpar. Just waiting here until we get some sort of significant reaction, either this zone or this sell side liquidity. This inversion is invalid, and it's not even an A+ anyway. There's no liquidity sweep, no higher time frame inversion, so not valid long. A strange move here. Pre-market, a big dump. Again, apologies for the coughing. Okay, so if we get this here, let me just outline it so you can see what I mean. There's no EQ tap though. Maybe if we did this, and let me just quickly check, see if this range did not balance EQ, so it has to be this high here. Yeah, so if we get like an inversion, say for example like right here, sweep this high, tap EQ and the M5 gap, it would be valid for a short here. That's partial this sell side, but obviously we need to wait and see if we get that sort of movement here. You just split screen my YouTube and entry chart here, so not valid, by the way, in case you're wondering. Not clean enough. And it's not tapped EQ yet. It has to tap EQ. Invalid anyway. We might chop here. Might accumulate here until 10 a.m. Looks like we might be getting the start of a market maker buy model. I'm gonna quickly edit the one. I'll be back in a sec. So we did just miss EQ, which makes me think that we might come down here. There's no gap. There's no gap here whatsoever that we could be reacting off of, so there's no valid A plus here. If there's a nice clean like M1, M2 gap here that we just tapped into, I could possibly take this for a scalp up to there, but no. Not clean enough anyway. This cold is getting on my nerves. Nose is so like itchy. Okay, so we're just like kind of accumulating here. I'm looking for a reaction off of this area, sort of EQ plus a stacked M5 gap for a potential short, or if we're going to go long, because I've got no bias at the minute. I don't know where price wants to go, so I'm just sort of waiting and seeing. But this zone here, we take out this sell side liquidity, give a potential SMT between ES and NQ. But we'll see. We'll see. It might 10. Maybe that'll give us something. Hello, viewer. Hey, Victor. It's good to see you in here. I apologize if I've been quiet. I'm just waiting through this chop. Feel free to drop any questions or anything. Sorry. Still sick. I've had too much time off though. Need to get back to it. I'm looking for a reaction off this zone here for a potential short, or this one here for a potential long. I've got no bias in a minute, so I do have draws on liquidity for like long and short, but I don't have a clear definitive preference. Price hasn't shown me anything like that, so obviously we have this big draw here. Sorry, this big drop here from pre-market. Just whether we slow climb, fill it, or get a reaction off the midpoint. I'll be back shortly. So 8 minutes here till 10 a.m. So hopefully we get some sort of reversal. It's indicates to me that we're going to go lower. So hopefully we get some sort of manipulation up here, and then lower. We can target this possibly, maybe even lower, but we'll see. Seven minutes there. quite clean IFVG here, but so annoying. Quite a clean IFVG here, but it's there's no reaction off a higher time frame gap. Just this H4 that's already been mitigated, and I do still want to see this sell side here. Oh, well, you'd be a break even already, so let's see if it would have been a break even trade. Hey babe, thank you, really appreciate that. My lovely wife has made me a sandwich. Hello viewer, I apologise, I'm just eating my lunch. I'm just waiting for this chop here. Either this area, which is a big unfilled M5 gap here in premium, or this sell side liquidity. Taken first. Hopefully we get some sort of clean IFVG here. This one was clean, but it's kind of like a Trojan horse because we haven't swept this sell side yet. And we are reacting off an already mitigated H4. This has already been filled once before, all the way over to the left. So it's not very strong, and we just left this sell side, so doesn't give me much confidence in the in the setup. So I didn't take this one, but yeah, just one singular clean IFVG, targeting long or short. I don't have a bias. Excuse me, sorry. I don't have a bias today. There's not really any indication if price wants lower or higher. So I'm being open, I'm being flexible, and we'll just see what price presents. This is accumulation here. I'm hoping that 10 a.m. The 10 a.m. macro gives us something, some volatility, maybe a reversal or something. So yeah, we've got 3 minutes until then, so I'm just waiting. If you want to drop a message in chat, feel free. Any questions or anything, I'm happy to answer. So you just have to bear with me because I'm spreading my sandwich. I will answer you. Hello viewers. Oh, it's iTunes. How you doing, man? Finish the sandwich later. How's your trading going? iTunes trading, how's it going, man? I'm just waiting for this area or this area. I don't have a bias today. Nothing really clear. There's no clear direction, sorry. So I'm just waiting. Price has been quite choppy. I'm just accumulating here. I think until the 10 a.m. macro, which is about 2 minutes here. So hopefully 10 a.m. gives us some volatility. And yeah, that's pretty much just what we're waiting for, really. I didn't take this IFVG here. Kind of a Trojan horse setup. Basically a fake one. It may very well run, but I really wanted this sell side. So that's what we're waiting for. It's not super clean, if you will. There's no higher time frame gap that we're reacting off of. This H4 has already been previously mitigated, so it's not really that valid. I still have it drawn up though, just for reference. Yeah, that's basically it. Got 1 minute here until 10 a.m. So hopefully we get some sort of volatility. Excuse me. Still got a bit of a cold as well, so I've been like side fucked by viruses recently. I had the flu like last week, and now I've got a cough and a cold, so make it make sense. I don't know. They're taking advantage of me. Kicking while he's down sort of thing, you know? So we've got a little something here. So there is news. There is PMI today, so which was literally just dropped, which is what this little spike here is. I was hoping that news would bring in some volatility. But we still wait. We still wait here. See. Oil price is missing both of these levels. Any setups in this range is automatically low probability, just because we haven't swept either side yet. And if you're trying to anticipate, so if you're taking this, anticipating this, the price could very well just do the exact same thing this high here did and just come back down and stop you out. Obviously here, you'd be at break even. And if you didn't get a good fill, you'd most likely be stopped out at break even. You would go break even right here at the high, and then maybe this candle stops you break even if you got a bad fill. So it's not really a good setup. But your first CP would be here, so if this doesn't even hit, then you'd be a break even anyway. So pretty much it already. Just waiting for this, either this or this. Let me get to the M1. It's a bit cleaner. Actually, it's not cleaner at all. It's still barcode. So there is an SMT here at these lows. ES has swept this sell side, NQ hasn't. So yeah, maybe it gives some sort of reaction here, bullish, but it came so close to it, and obviously this H4 FEG isn't really valid, so we'll just wait here and see if we get a reaction off this EQ level. Price is still moving pretty slow though. We'll see. Okay. So if price just runs, it was no good setup to catch the move, so you can't really FOMO. This isn't valid. Yes, it's a clean IVG, but there's no reaction of a high time frame gap here. It's literally all chop. You're reacting off of nothing, so it's not valid. And more times than not, this sort of setup's going to lose, or it's going to at least get stopped at break even. You know, this is just low hanging fruit. Basically, it's just right there. The only good thing this trade had going for it was SMT, but there is SMT at the highs too. So, you know, like what can you do? The way I think about it is, there's always going to be something cleaner, and there is. Like the other day, actually not the other day, it was maybe a week ago, last week or so. I got a little bit impatient and took a trade like this, and it ended up getting stopped at break even, and that was lucky because, you know, it was subpar. I could have just lost basically, but then I waited for like another half an hour or so, and I got the cleanest A plus. But my rules say that I have to like 2 trades max, and if I take another trade after that, then it's a violation of my rules. I can't be doing that. I mean, taking a trade like this is a violation of my rules anyway, so I haven't done that since. And I'm lucky that was break even. Like I had to go and reevaluate and stuff, and came to the conclusion that I was just lucky. But yeah, more times than not, this sort of thing's gonna fail. It has to be really clean for me to take it. Just stack the odds as highest in my favor as I possibly can, Hmm. Maybe. Hmm. I like to say if we got it. No closure just yet. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I don't really know about this one. No, I'm gonna go to the toilet. I'll be back in a sec. Okay, so what I can see is this M2 FEG here is still holding price. So we need to close below that, basically. And I could possibly think about entering low risk. Okay. So this is a valid M1 inversion. If that wasn't an M2 gap right here, there's an M2 right below it, which is currently reacting off of. So we need this M2 closure. Sorry, I'm eating crisps. Hello. Hello. Thanks for joining. I'm currently waiting for either this M2 FEG here to get closed below, so potentially take a short, or not. Basically, I mean, price isn't great today. We had a big sell-off pre-market, so usually when that happens, yeah, pretty bad price action follows. A lot of accumulation here. This might be manipulation, which is giving me the narrative behind the M2 FEG. Sorry, the IFEG here, the M2, if we get it. We had a little push above EQ and into this big M5 gap, so that's where this M2 IFEG narrative comes from. I don't have a bias, so again, I don't know if we want long or short. I can't tell, so I've got no bias here, so I'm going in cautiously, and we'll see. So we need to wait for 1 minute 30 seconds here for this 2 minute to close below. This already isn't the best setup, I'll be honest with you. I prefer a singular IFEG, but we'll wait and see if we get that closure or not, or if price is just going to continue to chop around. Yeah, that's it, man. I mean, we're just waiting. I'm just eating my lunch. My apologies. Okay, so we are digging down here. There's just quite a lot of noise inside. So I don't really like the M2, but what we can do is we can wait for the M5 here in 1 minute, and we can look for like a 30-second confirmation maybe. Yeah, it's just the short setup isn't very clean, so There's no closure here on this M5. I'll spare you the noise. Sorry. No reaction here. Sorry, there's a reaction here after this M5, but there's no gap. There's no gap that we can long. So hello, viewer. Hello, hello. We're just waiting here. There's not much going on. Price isn't that great. We had an inversion, but it wasn't clean, so I didn't take it. And then we reacted off an M5 that was below it. Again, nothing clean there. So yeah, this isn't good price action. So we're just waiting really for it to clear up, see if we can get a little bit of clarity before we try and take a setup. Obviously, there's no point in trying to take a setup here when price is doing this, because I'm either going to get stopped at break even or take a loss. You know, the way I trade, my risk to reward, I usually target the draw on liquidity, and at the minute I have no draw on liquidity, so it's a little bit difficult for me to try and find a valid target here. Hey, yeah, I'm still streaming. It's all right. Well, what's wrong? Oh, did he? Bless him. I'll come and say hello to him after the stream. All right. There's nothing clean here, by the way. This is if this inverses, it's invalid because we haven't swept the high, and this is only the kind of valid, I say, because it's not a good setup, but it's kind of valid. Is if we got this, because we did already have an M1 inversion here, and we are reacting off an M5, but because price is so choppy, I wouldn't even take this, to be honest with you. I wouldn't even take it. Again, nothing valid here. Hello viewers, hello if you're just tuning in. I wish I could say that we've caught a good trade today, but we haven't. There's nothing good here. Price is incredibly choppy. I'm waiting here now until 11 a.m. 11 a.m. macro, so in about 32 minutes, hopefully we might get a little reversal in price or something clean. There's no clean setups here, so I've just been waiting really. I was hoping for a reaction off of the EQ level here with a big M5 gap to potentially target this sell side liquidity, but we've had nothing. So it is what it is. In these sorts of trading days, you've just got to be patient. So yeah, no clean A plus here. I was thinking about taking the M2 inversion. Here we did close below this M2 gap, but then I looked on the M5 and noticed that we were reacting off an M5. So, you know, the high time frame holds a little bit more weight than lower time frames. So, and it would have been a loss. It wouldn't have been a loss, but it would still be in chop, you know, and this would just be stressful. So you'd most likely just close the trade. But this is where like context comes into the model as well. You can't just take a trade because it fits a certain criteria. It has to have good context behind it as well. So yeah, while you're in here, if you want to drop a chat, any questions or anything, I'm happy to answer. We can talk about trading if you want. Say I've got another 31 minutes here until 11 a.m. macro. I mean, if we get a nice trade before then, like, you know, I'm not going to say no, but that's like kind of my last hope, really. Excuse me. Yeah, just a lot of chop. This, we got a big sell-off here pre-market, which is kind of why price is now chopping. Obviously, price moves in three phases, right? We have accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. Now, I think this is the manipulation phase. Sorry, the distribution phase. So now we have accumulation. So what we'll either get, it could be at 11 a.m., it could be lunch or PM session, I don't know, but I'm going to give it to 11 a.m. We could get manipulation. So we could get a manipulation higher, maybe fill this gap, or we could get a manipulation lower, sweep the sell side, and then we get a reversal higher. And then we can look for another distribution phase, which could really be any time, depending on how long this accumulation lasts. So like I say, I'm giving it until 11, and if it's still chopping by 11, I'll end the stream and come off for the day. Keep it as a break-even day, a no-trade day, and in my eyes, that's a good day. You know, I could have been impatient and taken this M2 inversion and then got stuck in chop. So it is what it is. I'm happy with it. So there's no clean reaction off of anything really. Usually when you're looking for levels to get tapped, what was that? I don't even know what that was off. Usually when you're looking for like levels to get tapped, you want a quick reaction. Indicates that that level is sensitive. Obviously right here, this isn't a quick tap. So this EQ level and this M5 FVG isn't very sensitive for price. Doesn't really give a crap about it basically. Price is being nonchalant. It's like, yeah, there's an M5 there, but who cares? So we'll just wait. We'll wait. I really wanted this, so at like 10 a.m. I was hoping that price would come down and sweep the sell line and give us an A plus long, potentially target here and then leave a runner maybe for this high. But no, we didn't get that. Instead, price just slowly climbed up here and then consolidated. So here's where it is. Yeah, if you're trading, I'd wait for either, you know, a nice rejection off of maybe this high or come down and sweep this. Some sort of quick, clean reaction. Obviously, whatever model you trade, just be careful, because there's a lot of consolidation and accumulation there. You do not want to get chopped, which is what I struggled with a lot back in my early trading days. There's a little momentum candle there. Can't just get happy every time I see a nice sized candle. There isn't even a long setup or anything anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But we can see if we maybe get a rejection. But yeah, if you'd have taken this M2 inversion, it would have been a loss now. You'd have got hard stopped if you didn't already close the trade out of just being stressed. Oh shit, it's Ant. How you doing, man? I thought you were some random. Going good, man. How about you? I'm just sat here bored, waiting for this to actually do something. Been sat here for what, since 9:30 New York time, so just a little over an hour. Good, man. Good. Days like these where I would go to sleep, turn the charts off. Yeah. You changed your name back to CxTrades. It wasn't CxTrades last time, was it? That's why I got confused. I mean, pretty much just because of this big dump here at pre-market. The market goes in 3 cycles. It goes from accumulation, which is basically consolidation, to manipulation, which is a manipulation move to sweep consolidation highs or lows, and then distribution, which this is distribution. So we're currently in the second cycle, which is accumulation. So basically the algorithm is just accumulating multiple highs and lows to then sweep. So I'm hoping that this is manipulation, but this could have been the manipulation. It's difficult to tell. Price is just really slow. Oh, so you didn't change it yourself? Weird. Didn't even know YouTube could just automatically change your name. Hopefully, that's the idea. Like, so for example, if price swept this high, and we're reacting off a big M5 gap here, so we've just tapped the consequent encroachment, which is the 50% mark. If we got this inversion, so if this big FEG here, which is this gap in price, you can see it marked in the little blue box. If this got inversed with momentum candle, let me just quickly show you an example. So say we got, and I'll just change the template to, if we got something like that, for example, and it will like give a nice closure, like right there. Maybe it'll be a couple of candles or something. Then you could take this short, like something like this, for example, and you could target this sell side liquidity here, which is a 2.5 hour trade, which is pretty good. But obviously, because price is so slow, I doubt this is going to happen. But there's different periods of time where there's like volatility injections, and every hour is pretty much a volatility injection. So, for example, this is what happened at 9 a.m. This is what happened at 10 a.m. This move up here, this is like 10 until 10:04, and then we chop here again. And then obviously 11 a.m. is kind of what I'm waiting for. They're called macros. So we wait for 11 a.m. and if nothing happens at 11, I'll usually turn the charts off, because then you start heading into lunch hour for the New York trading session, and lunch is unpredictable. I've got pretty good at predicting New York AM, but I've never really traded lunch, so it's kind of uncharted waters for me. Every session's got its own characteristic. So, I mean, it might be good if AM's accumulated, maybe lunch manipulates, but I just can't be sure. So, yeah, man, there's a lot of layers to it. This line here, this is basically just called a Fibonacci retracement. I usually just look for EQ, but because we were chopping, I added on the golden zone, as they call it, for retracement. I don't really use it, but you know, well, there's nothing happening. I thought I might as well just add it, but yeah. You mean the chart behavior? Oh, you mean like because of like lunch and stuff? Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it's when the market makers go off their lunch break, I guess. Um, they all just get off the charts and start eating sandwiches. So yeah, man, literally. I used to try and trade PM, so PM New York session as well. And PM was only really ever good if New York AM was crap, like today is. So PM might be a good shout. Obviously, I don't really trade PM, so again, it's kind of uncharted territory. I've traded it more than lunch, but yeah, it is what it is, really. But you know what I said about if we got a clean displacement here, like below this M1. The thing is, when we're in an accumulation cycle like this, the minute sorry, man, I can't shake this bloody cough. The manipulation has to be like fast and snappy. You know, this isn't fast and snappy. This is still kind of choppy, which just indicates to me that price is going to slow climb, potentially fulfill this gap. But I mean, I can just show you like the gap. So this is the M5 time frame, and you can see that there is this big gap in price. You can see by this little yellow box here. It's an indicator that I've got on. Basically, where the two mixed wicks don't meet is called an imbalance in price. So higher time frame imbalances hold more weight, and I usually just look for reactions off of these and also liquidity, which is why I'm waiting for this sell side liquidity level, which is this low right here, because there's also a big stacked 15-minute imbalance just below it that I like kept in. Bloody hell, that's a red box. Hang on. There we are. Big 15-minute imbalance here. That's unfilled. These usually act as like a magnet for price. So yeah, so I mean, this is NQ. It's just an asset. It's basically a futures contract of the Nasdaq. So if I quickly switch to the Nasdaq here, you'll see they're pretty much the same. Literally the US 100, that's the Nasdaq, is pretty much the same. I just find NQ is easier to trade. It's just a little bit more clean. The candles print a little bit better. And obviously most prop firms will use futures and Forex. They don't usually use indices. So that's basically the reason for futures. And then also there's a little hack that you can use. It's something called SMT. It's called a Smart Money Technique. It's where the market makers will basically manipulate either NQ or ES, which is the S&P 500 or the Nasdaq. Because both of them are correlated, the market makers will basically manipulate one of them to sweep a high and the other one doesn't. It's basically a way to indicate a reversal because they're trying to trap buyers or sellers on one side of the market on each asset. So you can see here that Nasdaq took this high, but ES didn't. I can quickly just switch to ES right now. ES didn't. See, here's the same high. Actually, I don't know if you can see it because of the portrait. Here's the same high. ES didn't take it. The Nasdaq did. So a bearish SMT will just indicate that price will go down, which is exactly what happened here with this sell-off, as you can see. But I really did want this sell-off to take this sell side and tap into this gap here. Yeah, it is what it is. But the fact that we're just slow climbing up here just makes me anticipate that the draw is lower because price is so slow to rise, which means that this level wasn't very sensitive. SMT can be tricky because obviously there's SMT at the lows as well. So ES took this low here, NQ didn't, but the price can then give something called a six sister. So it's basically just a trail behind. So if NQ or ES start reversing, NQ will basically slowly start to follow behind ES. It will kind of get dragged behind it, if you get me. But it's different scenarios and different contexts for each one. Right now, there's nothing really to indicate a reversal, except for the slow climbing price. Just means that this level wasn't very sensitive. But it also means that this level wasn't very sensitive either because price is like violating it. So it's just difficult trading day. It's a bad trading day. Most trading days don't look like this. You know, there's always something clean. Since price is going super slow, I'll go back to Monday and I'll quickly show you the trade that I caught on Monday. I don't know if you care or not, but it's interesting, I guess. And you can kind of see what I mean by clean. This is Monday. This is the trade that I caught on Monday. Oh, hang on, I have to go on the 30-second because it's on the 30-second. Monday, there we are. Okay, so can you see this right here? This is the trade I caught on Monday. This is the last trade that I took. I haven't taken any other trades. So we came down and we swept this low here on Monday. And then we gave an inversion, a very clean inversion FVG. So price literally closed above this gap here with like a beautiful closure. Sometimes it would chop inside, but this was like super clean. I got a bit of a late entry, so I ended here. But regardless, I still managed to catch along all the way up to this high. I did target higher. My draw on liquidity was up here, this high, I think, but we never actually tapped it. So I ended up getting my other position, like my runners, ended up getting stopped out about here because I trailed my stop to this high. So that was basically it. And then also we were reacting off an M5 FVG to the left here. There's a big M5 gap that was unfilled that we were rejecting off of after sweeping this low. So that's basically an A+, like when you sweep a liquidity zone and then tap into a higher time frame gap, and then you get a clean inversion. It's a signature in price that, you know, well, it's just my model really. It indicates a reversal and it works. You know, it works a lot more than it doesn't. So I've got about an 85% win rate using this clean singular inversion after sweeping liquidity. And then sometimes my risk to rewards can get pretty insane. There was a trade last week that I took that was like a 1 to 10 risk to reward. And if you think about it, realistically, I'd only invalidate the trade as if this gets closed back below. But obviously I'll keep a hard stop at the low. But the chances that it does that in one candle and just smashes the lower, pretty, you know, is a pretty slim chance. So the chances are you'll get slow closed below this and then you can close your trade for less. So say for example that happened and then you targeted the draw on liquidity, which is like, I'll just say like the new week opening gap here just for an easy example. You know, that's a what? 1 to 8 trade, which means that you would have to lose 8 trades in a row for this setup to be unprofitable, which is just not going to happen because, you know, this happens more than not. And yeah, it's great, really. I'll just go back to today just so we can keep an eye. Yeah, basically, I mean, this is just a long and short tool. It just shows you. So if I did this, say if I took this inversion long, for example, which I'm not going to because it's not a very good inversion, but say I did and then I targeted this high, my entry would be on this line here, and then this would be my red zone, and then my stop loss would be at the low, at the bottom of this red zone, and then my take profit would be at the top. And if price sort of is in here, this would just show up as a darker green that I'm in profit. Yeah, that's literally just, it's just literally just a long or short tool, really. Say for example, I took this inversion here. This one was quite clean, but I didn't take it because it didn't sweep this low. And I need an external range low for it to be a valid setup. So although this setup was clean in terms of the quality of the IFEG, it wasn't valid in terms of context. So say for example I did this, I targeted a full retracement. You can see here that price is like, you know, showing where it is in the thing. You know, all of this is highlighted green. So yeah, man. That's pretty much the long and short all. I'm really hoping that price like picks up a little bit here. Quite painful sitting through this wizardry. There's still a lot of years. A lot of years and a lot of grinding, I guess. You know, when I transitioned from like trading penny stocks and options and stuff on a live account to trading futures, it was just like the biggest learning curve of my life. And it's like after 2.5 years of learning this whole new trading strategy and trading style, it's eye-opening to see the difference. Like I used to just like buy a penny stock if it was like, you know, lower the RSI or tap the major support or something. Well, I don't even use any of that anymore because it's not signatures in the algorithm. Yeah, man, for sure, for sure. The thing like with like the trading strategy is not just like the mechanicalness of it, it's also the psychology of it. Because if this was me like 6 months ago, I probably would have ended up taking like 3 or 4 trades in this chop here. I probably would have taken this, I probably would have taken this, and I would have got stopped at break even. I would take as some losses, and then I'd have been, oh shit, I need to make it back, so I would have tilted. But now, like, I mastered the mechanical setup of it all, the entry model, I guess, and then what I had to focus on was the psychology, because I knew what the A+ setup was. I knew exactly what I had to do to make profit, but what was holding me back was my own mind. You know, I'd sabotage myself and I'd beat myself up, and it really is like, it takes a mental toll. I'll tell you that, and I didn't even realize at the time. You know, trading penny stocks and options is nothing compared to trying to trade like this. It really isn't. This is a style I call precision intraday trading. It's kind of like a blend between scalping and day trading. So what I'll do is I'll utilize the lower time frames where you traditionally take a scalping entry, just like try and take a scalp move. So scalping is like if I entered here and I want to just take this low or something. But instead of doing that, I'll take a scalp position, but then I'll take most of my position off at the next intermediate term high. So say for example I took this, I'd take most of my position off here. So this is a 2.3R here. I'd take most of my position off here, and I'd hold a runner all the way to the draw on liquidity. And if I held long enough, most of the time it'd hit. So it's pretty nuts, really. Yeah, man. I mean, it is what it is, you know. Like, a long-term investing, you've got like that stability that American indices are always bullish. You know, if I go on like a weekly chart here, they always go up. No matter how much they go down, they always go up. Like, you'll have the biggest drop like this, say for example, but at this point you just add more. You know what I mean? Like, you literally just add more. And I was speaking to Ollie a little while ago, and I just basically said to him, mate, look, the Nasdaq's had a dip. It was right here. I said it to him. We were reacting off a weekly FVG and previous month's low, and I said to him, look, mate, we've had a low, we've had a dip here in the Nasdaq. This is a great place to buy. And I'm pretty sure he loaded up some contracts here at this low, and I told him just basically hold for all-time highs, which is here. Now, if it goes back below, then you just buy more, you know. But because we swept the previous month's low and we tapped into a weekly FVG, you got this really fat reaction here. I mean, this is, if you bought the midpoint in the weekly FVG, you've made 1,672 points, basically. Yeah, if you'd have bought this dip. So, I mean, that's long-term investing, I guess. Hang on one sec. Let me just get the chart back. Yeah, man, it really is. It really is a whole different ball game when you're trying to, like, if you think about like the negative emotion that you feel when your portfolio dips 10%, and then you think about that same negative feeling every single day, like 1 or 2 times a day, especially like obviously with losing positions and winning positions, it's all right. You know, you're making money, but if you're in a losing position, it's stressful, man. Like I used to take a long, and I just end up sat in chop for the whole time. And then like price would come like stupidly low to your stop loss, you'd panic. Or you'd panic close, like right here, but shit, it's gonna hit my stop. I'm just gonna just close it because I don't want to take the full stop. And then price reverses and you're like, oh shit, I just took a loss for no reason. And it is mentally tolling, but obviously all of that like mental tax, it shapes you into a different person. It really does. Like 6 months ago, I'd never be able to sit here and just watch barcode price action for an hour and a half straight. Mad. Oh shit, yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that was a great time to buy. It really was. That tariff shit. Oh, I just saw that as a way for like Trump's pleasing his shareholders or something. He's trying to get them to buy it at a lower price. It literally, that's all that was. Crazy. Could have sold your car, man. Sold your car, bought the dip, and then bought it back. Oh yeah, for sure. He's not just going to crash the he's not just going to crash the entire US market for an extended period of time. You know, the market's always super bullish under Trump, so you know he's not going to go and tarnish that. And the tariffs were a good thing, in my opinion. You know, they did a good thing for the American economy. It's been growing ever since. So, but then again, whether you think it's a good thing or a bad thing, it's just, I guess, opinion. But it was super bullish after that dip. I remember like 3 weeks straight was just like super bull market, and the draw liquidity was so obvious. Like it was all time highs. It was basically just all time highs. Like I'll go back and I'll just show you, bro. Like obviously this is the tariff dip, but like your draw liquidity is just all time highs because you've already dipped. Like the chances that Trump announces that he's reducing the tariffs or something right here, and you think the price is gonna sweep a high and go lower. Why? You know what I mean? There's no way that's gonna happen. You know, it's always gonna bounce back. What's this? A random pullback here. Probably nothing major. It looks like it was under Biden though. Where's the COVID dip? Here's the COVID dip. Look how small this COVID dip looks like compared to this random pullback here. And like this is the COVID dip. You know, every time I go on the higher time frame, it just like squashes the price. Yeah, man, that's fine. I appreciate you tuning in. I was just sat here staring at the charts by myself, speaking to no one. So the fact that you've come here and had someone to speak to, bro, it's nice. The thing is, like that COVID dip, that wasn't really like a, oh yeah, this is going to bounce back straight away because obviously COVID, like you know, it went on for like 2 years. You know, worth it for the gains. Hey, there's no fucking gains there today, bro. Looks like I've got 3 minutes until 10 a.m. Till 11 a.m. New York, and if that doesn't do anything, then I'm just going to turn the charts off. Ain't sitting there for no reason. Although I don't really mind this IFEG here. If we get a strong momentum close under this, I could potentially take this. But the first clean one that we've had, if we get it. Yeah, man, I will. I'll let them know you said hello. Appreciate you tuning in, man. Have a good day at work. Hopefully. Hopefully. Take it easy, man. Low disk space. Oh, okay. Fair enough. Speak soon, bro. I was really hoping that something would come up at 11 a.m, but we've had absolutely nothing, so I think we're going to end, to be honest. I don't really think there's much more reason here for me to stay, so. Yeah, I mean, if you tuned in, thank you. If you're watching this back on YouTube, thank you, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow.